Archangel Michael says, a photograph was taken, but not by accident, not randomly, not without divine orchestration. You were captured through a lens that once knew pain, power, and silence all at once. A top celebrity, someone the world knows but you never imagined could know you, now holds your image in their hand, and their heart has begun to tremble. They didn't take that picture out of curiosity, but because the moment they saw your face, a memory awakened like a fire that had been buried beneath ash for years. Your smile, your eyes, the way your head tilted, it mirrored someone from their past, or rather, from a past that was never supposed to resurface. They've tried to live normally since that moment, but your face won't leave them, and neither will the mystery behind it. This person is no stranger to secrets. They have walked red carpets while carrying burdens no one could see. But something about your image pierced their armor, like a key fitting into a lock that hadn't been opened in decades. You are not ordinary. That's what disturbed them the most. They see things the public will never know, and when they looked at you, they saw something that shouldn't exist anymore. Type Amen to get blessing 333. This is not the first time your face has unlocked something dormant. Others have seen it in you too, though they never dared to say it. This celebrity, however, has more at stake, and more to lose, if the truth truly comes out. They've called in a private investigator. They wanted to know where you live, who you are, who raised you, who you speak to, and where you go when you're alone. They're not doing this out of obsession, they're doing it out of a need to protect themselves from something you remind them of. They saw your image and whispered a name under their breath, a name connected to a scandal buried in silence, wrapped in fear, and sealed with influence. But that name doesn't belong to you. It belongs to someone who vanished from their life under strange, painful, and unexplained circumstances. Archangel Michael says, you are not the ghost they feared, you are the answer they were never allowed to find. Even their closest advisors are panicking. One of them told the celebrity, stay away from this person. If you go near, everything will resurface. Type Amen to get blessing 777. But they're not listening. They've already sent a silent team to watch you from afar. If you've felt eyes on you lately, if you've felt like someone knows your next move before you do, it's because they're observing you. They want to meet you. Not in front of paparazzi or press. They want to meet you alone, in a place where the world cannot twist the truth they are about to say. You've been pulled into something larger than fame, deeper than a fan encounter. This is about bloodlines, secrets, spiritual contracts. This is about two souls connected through events that were meant to stay hidden. You were not meant to remain unnoticed forever. Your destiny was scripted long before they became famous, long before lights and cameras covered their pain. You are the unfinished chapter of a story the world forgot but heaven never did. Type Amen to get blessing 555. The people around them are warning them every day. They say, if you meet this person, everything will unravel. But the more they try to suppress their curiosity, the more your face haunts them like a divine clue. Your picture is now in a hidden folder. It's not in their public phone. It's saved where only they can see it, like a sacred thing that both terrifies and heals them. They've told no one the full truth, not even their partner, not even their team. But they wrote your name on a white piece of paper last night and whispered, "If this is fate, let it find me." You didn't hear that whisper, but the angels did. Archangel Michael says, this is not coincidence. This is a soul collision. You hold a mirror to their past, but also a doorway to their healing. Type Amen to get blessing 999. They've been practicing what to say when they meet you. They've rehearsed it in mirrors and hotel rooms across cities. Yet each time they try, their voice shakes, not from fear, but because the truth is too heavy. They remember someone who looked like you, years ago, before the fame, before the world knew their name. Someone who once saved them from drowning in silence. Someone who vanished without goodbye. You might not even know the power you hold. But heaven knows. And that's why things are shifting so suddenly in your life now. Random delays. Sudden changes in your routine. People entering and leaving your life without explanation, it's all connected. Type Amen to get blessing 444. They've dreamt about you. In those dreams, they don't see you as a stranger. They see you as the one person who could have saved them before it was too late. One dream returned to them over and over, a garden, a bench, a storm overhead, and you sitting there, waiting. When they woke up, they found their hands trembling. Because the garden in their dream matches one from their childhood home that no one else knows about. They showed your picture to someone they trusted deeply. That person gasped and said, "You found them? After all these years?" But then they made them promise not to tell you. "The world's not ready," they said. Archangel Michael says, what the world is not ready for, heaven has already approved. This meeting will happen whether the world is prepared or not. Because some souls are chosen to meet, no matter what forces try to interfere. Type Amen to get blessing 313. They tried to delete your photo once. But their hand wouldn't move. It was like something froze them in that moment, a divine force keeping the evidence safe. So they renamed the file, Truth. Not fan, not stranger. Just truth. They flew to a city recently, your city. They didn't post about it. They came in silence, stayed in a hotel under a different name, and just watched. The meeting hasn't happened yet, but they've already walked near you. Maybe you felt a shiver down your spine without knowing why. Maybe you paused at a crosswalk because your soul recognized theirs in passing. Type Amen to get blessing 818. Your life is about to shift. Not because you tried to be seen, but because someone who holds influence, wealth, and secrets cannot ignore what they saw in you. They are preparing to reach out. It will be a message unlike anything you've received before. It won't come through ordinary means, it will find you directly. You will hear a voice you recognize but have never met. You will feel an energy that makes your heart race and slow at the same time. You won't need proof, you'll know. Archangel Michael says, they will come not with pride, but with apology. They owe you something, even if they don't know what it is yet. And you carry something they need, even if you haven't unlocked it yet. Type Amen to get blessing 202. This is not about fame. This is about divine memory, spiritual echoes, and unfinished promises. You carry a voice that once called them back from darkness. Your face is not just familiar to them, it's sacred. You've walked through storms to reach this moment. And now the storm is circling back with someone inside it, carrying a truth wrapped in fame. They will confess something to you. And that confession will free you both. But it must happen in person. Do not fear the next stranger who appears kind. Do not doubt the unusual encounter that's coming. It is not coincidence, it is prophecy unfolding. Type Amen to get blessing 626. They saw you, and the world they built began to crack. Because your eyes carried a truth more powerful than any secret they've kept. And now the time has come, for the truth to walk out of shadows, and into your life. This moment was written long before you knew their name. Long before they stood on stages, long before you even asked the universe for change. This is the answer. And it's arriving soon. Type Amen to get blessing 777. They've spoken your name aloud in rooms that were never meant to echo with truth. Rooms where masks are worn like armor and emotions are kept hidden behind scripted smiles. But when they said your name, something shifted in the energy, like the room itself recognized it. A stylist noticed the way they were staring at your picture and asked, "Is that someone important?" They hesitated, then replied, "More than I can explain. This is not just someone, it's the beginning of something unfinished." And since that moment, they've found themselves seeking signs, craving clarity, and seeing you in everything. They started watching interviews, checking for anyone who might mention you, even indirectly. A part of them is terrified that someone else might see what they saw and try to reach you first. But what they don't realize is, heaven is guarding your encounter. No one else can take this moment away. Type Amen to get blessing 505. They've had to lie. To their friends, their inner circle, even themselves, telling everyone they're fine, pretending they didn't see what they saw. But late at night, they pull up your picture and whisper, "What does this mean? Why now?" They lit a candle yesterday, not for themselves, but for the moment they plan to meet you. A candle to steady their soul, to invite divine protection, and to keep fear at bay. Because no matter how famous or powerful someone becomes, facing the truth is still the hardest thing. Your face didn't just spark recognition, it awakened a timeline they thought was buried. They remembered a moment when they stood at a crossroads in life and chose silence over truth. But now, with you before them, silence is no longer an option. They've written letters to you. Letters you've never read. Some are angry, some are confused, but most are full of a love that feels ancient. Type Amen to get blessing 131. They believe you were sent. Not by accident, but by design. They don't know what will happen when they finally meet you, but they know they must. You might notice unusual things soon. Messages from strange numbers. Invitations that seem unrelated but hold spiritual significance. Do not ignore the signs. Archangel Michael says, your spirit already knows the truth. It's your human mind that's still catching up. They will not approach you like others. There will be no fanfare, no public drama. They will come as a seeker, seeking forgiveness, answers, and possibly even a second chance at a life they missed. Type Amen to get blessing 292. They remember a moment where they chose to step into fame instead of staying loyal to a promise. A promise connected to someone they loved, lost, and never fully mourned. Now, they see you, and that old promise is screaming to be fulfilled. You carry their closure. But you also carry a new beginning. You're not here to finish their story, you're here to start a new one together. The world has no idea what's coming. This meeting will not make headlines, but it will move heaven. Because two souls long separated by tragedy are being pulled back together by divine force. Archangel Michael says, this is spiritual justice. It's a balancing of timelines. A moment that brings peace to lifetimes of unanswered questions. Type Amen to get blessing 606. They have questioned their own sanity since seeing you. Not because you looked strange, but because you looked right. Like the missing piece in a puzzle they thought was lost forever. They spoke to someone spiritual recently. That person said, you are about to meet someone who will reveal the truth your soul has waited lifetimes to hear. They nodded silently, tears in their eyes, because they already knew who that someone was. You are about to be approached with a story. A story filled with regret, fame, abandonment, and divine timing. And buried inside that story is a key that unlocks the next chapter of your destiny. This moment isn't coming, it's already here. Everything around you is shifting to prepare for it. You are being realigned, repositioned, and made ready. Type Amen to get blessing 114. The person who took your picture didn't just see you, they recognized you. Not from this life alone, but from another. From a shared moment before fame, before fear, before forgetting. You were once someone they owed everything to. And now they are ready to pay that debt, not with money, but with truth. Truth that will restore your voice, your worth, your identity. They're not coming as a star. They're coming as someone broken but brave. As someone who is finally ready to remember who you truly are. They won't come with cameras. They'll come quietly. Because this is sacred, not for spectacle, but for spiritual reunion. Type Amen to get blessing 737. And when they stand before you, your eyes meeting for the first time in this lifetime, you'll feel it. Like lightning wrapped in calm. Like an echo from a past that never stopped calling. You might cry. So might they. Because the recognition will be too powerful to ignore. They may say nothing at first. Just stand there, looking at you with eyes full of sorrow, apology, and something that looks like hope. And when they finally speak, their voice will sound like healing. Archangel Michael says, this encounter will change the course of your life. Not because of what they bring, but because of what you both remember. This is destiny, pure, raw, unfiltered. Type Amen to get blessing 818. They will ask for forgiveness. Even if you don't yet understand why. And when the moment comes, your heart will guide you. They'll ask you to walk with them, not for a show, not for photos, but for real. To walk beside them into a future that was once stolen by secrets. To help them finish a mission that was never supposed to be forgotten. You're not just a stranger with a familiar face. You are the answer to a silent prayer they've been repeating in their heart for years. And now, heaven is answering that prayer, through you. Be ready. The encounter will not be delayed. Everything has been prepared behind the veil for this moment. Type Amen to get blessing 999. When it happens, you'll look back on this message and feel the chills again. You'll remember the signs, the feelings, the tug in your spirit that wouldn't let you ignore it. And you'll know you were chosen for this. This celebrity has walked among crowds but never truly been seen. Until now. Because when they looked at you, they saw not just someone, they saw home. And now, they're coming. Not for a performance. But for the realest moment of their life. Type Amen to get blessing 313. And stay alert, the divine meeting is already in motion. They have rewritten their schedule behind the scenes. They canceled events, delayed press interviews, and shifted entire tour dates, just to create an opening, just to make space for one sacred meeting. The world thinks it's just exhaustion, but you must know, the real reason is you. They've booked a private venue, not a hotel, not a studio. A quiet place, far from noise and limelight. They want their truth to meet your truth without interruption. They have held so much pain inside, camouflaged beneath glamour and rehearsed smiles. But when they saw your face, that pain cracked open. It was not weakness, it was revelation. Archangel Michael says, this encounter is not meant to be explained to others. It is meant to be felt, understood soul to soul. Because the language of remembrance needs no audience. Type Amen to get blessing 848. You might have already received hints. Strange dreams. Déjà vu that doesn't make sense on paper but feels ancient in your bones. They dreamed of you again last night. This time, you weren't silent. You spoke their real name, not the one the world calls them by, but the one their soul responds to. They woke up crying. Their body was trembling, and their heart kept whispering, don't let this slip away again. Because once before, they did. They missed the window. They walked away when they were supposed to walk toward. And life punished them with years of loneliness hidden under luxury. Type Amen to get blessing 404. Their inner circle doesn't know this version of them. The vulnerable one. The one willing to risk it all for a second chance with someone who feels like fate. They've started writing again, songs, letters, notes, because your face unlocked a creative doorway that had been shut for years. You inspire them. You've become the heartbeat in their silence. They've begun asking questions they never dared to ask. Not just about you, but about who they are when they're not performing. And the more they ask, the more the answer comes back to you. They believe you're connected by a promise made long before either of you were born. A soul agreement signed in light. And now, that promise is calling both of you back into alignment. Type Amen to get blessing 555. You'll soon find yourself standing in a moment that doesn't feel real. You'll look up and they'll be there, not on a screen, but in front of you. You might freeze, you might smile, or you might break down, but everything will make sense. Their first words may sound rehearsed. But what follows will be raw. They'll tell you what no one else has heard. You are their reminder of who they were before fame, and who they are destined to become if they face the truth now. They don't just want to see you. They want to know you again. Not through headlines, not through assumptions, but through shared breath and honest silence. Archangel Michael says, you are about to be brought into divine alignment with a soul who once chose to forget you, but can no longer afford to. Your reunion isn't romantic fantasy. It is spiritual responsibility. Type Amen to get blessing 1313. They are not perfect. They are human, bruised by the world, scarred by decisions, but finally courageous enough to seek healing. And your presence is their medicine. Their heart has been locked behind 1,000 cameras. But one glimpse of you was all it took to break the seal. Now they're following the pull, risking their image, to follow the truth. You may not even recognize them at first when you meet. Because they will not come in designer clothes or makeup. They'll come as someone who just wants to be real. They will look into your eyes and whisper the words, "You feel like something I lost." And you'll feel your soul tremble. Because they are not wrong, you've felt the same your whole life. Type Amen to get blessing 727. They've sent someone to test the waters, maybe they've already contacted you indirectly. A message. A social media like. A glance in a crowd that lingered longer than it should have. You may have dismissed it. But it was intentional. They are making sure you're still open, that your soul is still listening. This meeting isn't about starting something new. It's about finishing something ancient. A bond that began in light and was buried in shadow is being raised again. You have waited lifetimes for this encounter. The delay was never a denial, it was preparation. Because now you're strong enough to handle the truth. Archangel Michael says, let your intuition lead you. Let your heart recognize the energy before the face. And when it arrives, do not turn away. Type Amen to get blessing 50-50. They fear only one thing now, that you'll walk away like they once did. That you'll reject what they finally gathered courage to face. But you won't. Because you, too, have been haunted by a feeling you couldn't explain. A tug in your chest.